Hello, my friends. Mr. Horse here. To finish part two of Paul Simon's song, a poem on the underground wall. I don't think I introduced the name of the song in part one. I apologize. So a poem on the underground wall. So what is this poem, And what's underground? I mean, what underground wall? This happened in New York. The setting of the story is in New York. Because that's where Paul Simon lived. He's a New Yorker. So anyway, it's very interesting. I mean, this is, So based on my research, my study. I mean, I studied all the words, and I did research, on, the background of the song, all that. From what I learned, this is what I learned. I mean, about New York. I never been to New York, of course. I mean, I'm in Taiwan. I mean, so this is what I learned about New York. There are a lot of poets who live in New York. A lot of poets in New York. I mean, New York, not just New York. Maybe there are more poets in New York than other American big cities. Los Angeles, Chicago, I mean, Detroit, San Francisco, etc., etc., etc. That's what the song is saying. I mean, poet. So if you look at the fourth, the first, last stream is nearly due, and the ground is closing soon. In the dark, deserted station, the rest is in anticipation. A man waits in the shadow. So there's a man. Underground here really is the subway station. It's underground subway. We had subway in Taiwan, in Taipei, so I know what it is. Underground. So the last train is coming. After the last train, the subway station is gonna be closed because it's the last train. So that's why the underground is closing. So in the dark, deserted station. This is probably pretty late already, right? In the dark, deserted station. In the dark, deserted station. There's nobody there anymore. I mean, because it's really late, right? I mean, who wants to be out in the middle of the night in New York City? Okay, so in the dark, deserted station, restless in anticipation. Restless in anticipation. Who is restless in anticipation? The man. The man waits in the shadows. He is restless. And he is anticipating something. His restless eyes leap and scratch. I mean, great metaphors. His restless eyes leap and scratch at all that they can touch or catch. Leap and scratch. That's cats, right? I mean, what kind of animal, leap and scratch at all that they can touch or catch? And then, hidden deep within his pocket, safe within his silent socket. Socket, very good word, metaphor. He holds his collar, he rose-colored crayon. So in his pocket he has a colored crayon. Oh, okay. And he's very, very, restless. Why? The next verse tells you. Okay. From the tunnel stony one, from the tunnel stony one. Again, metaphors. I mean, religious. From the tunnel stony one, and the carriage rides to me the groom. Open wide and welcome doors, but he hesitates and miserably. So then the train, came. Open the doors, open wide and welcome doors, but he hesitates. Hesitates, and stays and reach deeper in the shed. His intention was not to get on the train. No. So he hesitated. I mean, he thought about it, maybe I'll get on the train. It's free anyway, right? But since I'm already in the station, it's free for me. If I can get a free ride. But no, I'm not going to do that. I want to do something even better, something even more exciting, something even more nerve-wracking. So then the train went, and then see that bridge. The train is gone suddenly, on wheels clicking silently. Clicking silently, interesting, clicking but silent. Like clapping, clapping in silence. I mean, clapping, that's a Buddhist, Like a gentle tapping litany. See, again, religious images. Religious. Gently tapping litany. That's a great word. If you don't know what the word, is, go check it out. Anyhow is crayon, rosary. Anyhow is crayon, rosary, religion. Tighter in his hand, tighter in his hand. Okay, so that was what we discussed in the first part. So he didn't get on a train. The train left. From his pocket, click it flashes. The crayon on the wall, it flashes. So he took the crayon out very quickly. Quick flashes, and then it slashed. Very, excellent choice of words. Deep upon the advertising, single-worded poem comprised of 4 letters. So what did he do? He wrote a poem very quickly. He wrote a poem, right? Among all the advertising, because there's so many, words on the wall, advertising something. There are a lot of poems too, but there's some advertisement too. So he wrote this poem, and this poem, the special thing about this poem is only 4 letters. It's 1 word, single-worded. What's that? Deep upon the advertising, single-worded poem comprised of 4 letters. Now, what poem? What do you mean? I'm sure you're gonna wonder this, and I wonder when I first, heard the song. I was thinking in my head, what poem is consisted of 4 words, made up of 4 words. Comprise, good word. Maybe is love, L-O-V-E, that's 4 letters, love. I mean, that's a good poem, if you put love on the wall. Hope, maybe it's hope, H-O-P-E, that's also very positive, hope, it could be hope. But it could be something not very nice either, not very decent. Somebody said, well, maybe it's a word that starts with F. I don't know. I mean, does it count? I mean, if that's the case, is that considered to be a poem? Can you have that kind of word and be considered as a poem, poetry? So earlier I said, well, a lot of poets, in New York, in big cities, because there's so many poems. I mean, if you go to visit those cities, and you will see so many poems, around the city. I mean, and his heart is laughing, screaming, pounding. This is the most difficult one. His heart is laughing, screaming, pounding. His heart is laughing, screaming, pounding. The poem across the tracks rebounding. Shadow by the exit glide, shadow by the exit glide, shadow by the exit. His legs take their sanding flight to see the breast of darkness and be suckled by the night. So then after he did that, he put the poem, the 4-letter poem on the wall. His heart is laughing, screaming, pounding. Laughing, screaming, pounding. His heart is so much joy. He got so much joy out of this very simple action. His heart is laughing. I mean, this might be his greatest achievement, of his life. That's why he's so excited. His heart is laughing, his heart is laughing, screaming, pounding. The poem across the tracks rebounding. Poem across the tracks. The poem across the tracks rebounding. Shadow by the exit light. Shadow by the exit. Shadow by the exit light. His legs take their ascending flight. Go back up. He was down, now he's up. To seek the breast of darkness, to seek the breast of darkness, and be suckled by the night, and be nourished by the night, which is darkness. I mean, dark. So this person is a child of darkness. That's why we know. I mean, because to be nourished, to be suckled, by. Anyway, so interesting. I mean, what an interesting song. I mean, this is a very poetic, idealized description or portrait of what people call graffiti. I mean, you are just, putting a lot of ugly things, drawing, ugly and writing bad words on people's fence or wall, in the city, public space. And Paul Simon called this poetry. That's very generous, that's very favorable, take on this view. I mean, I hope you like the song, and I hope you enjoy my analysis or discussion of the song. See you next time. Bye.